This is my first real wrestling review show since July 20th of last year. And I always tell myself every single time, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I've been out of the YouTube game for a while now. The product still sucks. And I come back on YouTube tonight to do this review for SmackDown, and the product still sucks. The more things change, folks, the more they stay the same. SmackDown tonight, outside of a few things here and there, was not a good show. And I'll explain that as we talk about the show tonight on the review. We're on this road to WrestleMania, right? We're on this road to WrestleMania. Bianca Belair won the Women's Rumble. Edge won the Men's Rumble. Both of those individuals have not decided on what championship they want to go after at WrestleMania. Now, if I was running this company and I was the head of creative here, I would have had Bianca and Edge name their opponents for WrestleMania coming out of the Royal Rumble. I would have had Edge make his decision on Raw and Bianca make her decision on SmackDown. Who do you guys want to face at WrestleMania? If I was the head of creative, I would have booked Edge and McIntyre. And for SmackDown and Bianca Belair, I would have put Bianca and Sasha for WrestleMania. That's 2 WrestleMania matches already in the books. Set in stone. That's what I would do. The way WWE is right now, they're being lazy. They're being lazy. They don't know what to even do with the fucking Chamber pay-per-view this Sunday. Let alone WrestleMania. Let alone WrestleMania. They have no idea what the fuck they want to do going into the Chamber this Sunday. You do realize, folks, we only have 3 matches put together for Sunday. Only 3 matches put together. They didn't build the other matches. They ain't built anything else. We only have 3 matches announced for this Sunday. The Raw side of the Chamber, the SmackDown side of the Chamber, and the Women's Tag Team title match. This is your stop on the road to WrestleMania. 3 matches announced for Sunday. I don't know if that's lazy or if that's straight stupidity. If you ask me. I don't know. But what do I know at the end of the day? SmackDown tonight was not a good show. Outside of a few key parts of the show tonight, which I enjoyed. Not going to sit here and lie to you about that, folks. But we're going to go over everything on the show tonight. And I will also give you guys my prediction on the Chamber pay-per-view on Sunday. As I'll give you guys my full detailed prediction of what do I think would happen. Or what do I think should happen going into Sunday. But, man. Outside of, to be really honest with you, outside of that first half an hour, and the Ding Dong Hello segment, which was fucking funny as hell, was freaking, I enjoyed that segment. I don't know about you guys. But outside of the first half an hour of SmackDown and the Ding Dong Hello segment that was on the show tonight, nothing happened on the show tonight. Edge made an appearance. He kicked off the show. We got a 6-man tag with the individuals that's going to be in the Chamber match on Sunday to determine who faces Roman for the Universal title at the same night. Not WrestleMania, folks. The same night. Who books this shit? I have no idea. But we're here to talk about SmackDown tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on the channel. If you guys don't know who I am Chris. I am back on the channel, of course, officially. Programming note. Little programming note. Tomorrow, I have a Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War gameplay for you guys tomorrow. On Saturday, I'm gonna be showing you guys my MP5, my Mac 10 setup. I will be showing you guys that tomorrow in full detail. Best gun in the game, by the way. You guys will enjoy that gameplay tomorrow. Sunday, you guys got the Chamber pay-per-view. I will be reviewing that on the channel on Sunday. Monday will be Raw. I have no idea what I'm doing Tuesday. No idea what I'm doing Tuesday. Wednesday, I could be reviewing NXT. Maybe. I might review NXT. Or I might review AEW. I have no idea. I haven't decided yet on what show I want to review. But I'll think about that as the week goes on. Thursday, I have no idea what I'm doing Thursday. I might as well take Thursday as an official off day on Thursday. Friday, SmackDown, and Saturday, I'll probably do, I don't know, something about the reality podcast back. I have no idea. Something about that. I'll think about that as the week goes on. I have no idea. And then we'll be doing that on the road to WrestleMania and everything else. So we're going to talk about SmackDown here tonight. If you guys thought that SmackDown was it wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a good show at all. But if you guys thought that SmackDown was a not bad show, hit that thumbs up. If you guys are excited that I'm back, also hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below your thoughts on SmackDown tonight. And also, if you guys are new to the channel, I would encourage you guys, I recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you anything. Just click. That's it. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn that bell for all notifications. What the fuck dropped on my thing? Give me a whole hot second. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go. All right, so we're good here. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn that bell, guys, for all notifications. Follow me on social media. If you guys want to follow me on social media, Twitter at GoodVibesChris with an _, and Instagram GoodVibesChris183. That's on Twitter and also on Instagram as well. If you guys want to follow me there on social media. SmackDown kicked off with the rated R superstar, Edge. The show kicks off with Edge making his entrance into the ThunderDome. He gets on the mic and talks about how he is happy to be back on SmackDown. He starts talking about the matches at the Chamber preview on Sunday and how his decision for his WrestleMania opponent is the biggest decision of his career. Edge also said that he'll be making his decision most likely after the Chamber. He will make his decision. He can make his decision on Raw Monday, or he can come back on SmackDown on Friday to make his decision on who he wants to face at WrestleMania. Before Edge can go anymore, here comes the head of the table, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Reigns comes out, flanked by Paul Heyman and Jey Uso per usual. Reigns and company take their time coming down the ring. Once all three men are standing across from Edge, Heyman hands a mic to Roman. Roman says that he's the only choice for Edge because Roman says that he will be the main event. Edge responds that he is playing Roman. He isn't showing fear. He says that Roman needs Edge to be the main event. He says that Roman is the insecure one and Edge is the one who gets to pick the main event. He says that he respects Roman and respects Roman's family, but he says that Roman got too much too soon. He says that Roman is cracking under the pressure, and that is before Edge has even applied any pressure to Roman yet. I like that line what Edge said. Edge says that Roman is cracking under the pressure, and that is before Edge has even applied any pressure on Roman Reigns yet. I like that line. I really love that line from Edge. Suddenly, Sami Zayn comes out. He starts to talk about how Edge and Roman are disrespecting him, but Roman and Edge are mostly ignoring him, even when he gets in the ring. Sami talks about how it's not a foregone conclusion that Roman will win, and then he runs down both Edge and Roman. He calls his cameraman to come close to the ring, getting a shot of him pointing at the WrestleMania sign. As he continues to ramble, gamble, Jey Uso surprises Zayn with a super kick, laying out Zayn and shutting him up. Right after that, Roman gets right in the Edge's face and gets close to his ear. He whispers something inaudible to Edge, then he backs off. Jey Uso hands Roman his belt, and all three men leave the ring to end the segment. This wasn't a bad segment. Actually, it was a pretty good segment. Pretty good segment here to kick off the show. I love the intensity from both men between Edge and Roman. Now, I've thought about this time and time again since Edge won the Rumble. And I'm here thinking to myself here. If Edge picks Roman Reigns to fight at WrestleMania, who does Drew McIntyre face? Now you sit there and you look at the entire Raw roster and you look down that roster. Who is legit enough? Who is big enough to face Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship? Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Edge and Roman sounds good. It does. I'm sure that the promo work and the match would be actually good between those two men. I'm sure it will. But if you want to think logic and you want to make sense of everything else here, Roman has more opponents to face on SmackDown for WrestleMania than Drew McIntyre does on Monday Night Raw. So you might as well have Edge pick McIntyre and have Roman face whoever wins that chamber match on Sunday. Roman doesn't have to defend the title on Sunday. He doesn't have to. He doesn't really have to. I would have Roman be like, okay, let's say Edge picks McIntyre. You know what? Fuck it. Whoever wins this chamber match is gonna face me at WrestleMania for the Universal title. They can certainly do that. They can certainly do that. Sure. But coming out of this segment, I don't know if you people got the same vibe that I do. Now, I may be, nitpicking here, or I may be just, overlooking things here. I could be. But in this segment made Roman Reigns look a little bit desperate, if you ask me. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but what I got coming out of this segment was that Reigns was looking really fucking desperate. Like as if he wants Edge to pick him. Or does Roman want Edge for WrestleMania? Now, what did Roman Reigns say in Edge's ear? I have no idea. We didn't even get that part to end the show. We didn't even get that. Nobody even had the sense of urgency to ask Edge, what did Reigns say to you in your ear during this show tonight? Nobody had the audacity to even ask that question. What did Reigns say in Edge's ear? Does Roman Reigns want Edge at WrestleMania? Because according to this segment that we got earlier tonight, it looks like Roman wants Edge for WrestleMania because Edge said it best. Edge said it best in a segment. You need me to be in the main event at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns calls himself the main eventer. Edge says you need me to be in the main event at WrestleMania. And Roman had this face like this face of desperation, like this face of disgust. Like, wow, really? You're not gonna pick me for WrestleMania? You're really gonna go with McIntyre, which Edge could possibly do. Edge can come out of nowhere on Sunday night, pick McIntyre. He possibly could. We'll go over my prediction on the Chamber pay-per-view on Sunday at the end of this review. We'll go over it because what if McIntyre wins on Sunday? What if McIntyre survives the Chamber on Sunday and Edge catches that attention? Okay. Because from what I saw from the Raw after the Rumble, Edge basically called Drew McIntyre a pussy without saying the word pussy. Edge grabbed the microphone, got under the ring with McIntyre, and basically called him a pussy without even mentioning the word. You think McIntyre didn't forget about that? McIntyre is going to prove to Edge why Edge should pick McIntyre for WrestleMania. He's going to walk into that Chamber champion and walk out of that Chamber champion. It's a possibility, but who knows? We'll find out on Sunday. This segment was pretty good to kick off the show. Now my question is, does Roman Reigns want Edge for WrestleMania? We'll find out on Sunday after the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. We see a recap of Kevin Owens delivering a stunner to everyone, and Michael Cole tells us about the main event, which is a 6-man tag. Also, the return of Ding Dong Hello will be on the show later on tonight. Big E comes out. It will be on commentary for the upcoming match between Apollo Crews and Shinsuke Nakamura, which is up next after the commercial break. So back for commercial break, Big E is sitting at a couch next to the commentary table with his feet in a foot bath. Looks comfortable to me. And is eating a microwave dinner. Now, I wouldn't be really eating a microwave dinner, but to each his own here. We get Nakamura and Apollo Crews in a 1-1 match to start up the action here on SmackDown. The match wasn't that bad. Match was pretty good to me. I mean, for that short amount of time, the match was pretty good. Nakamura wins with a pinning combination. He didn't use the King Sasha, which I think he would probably... I miss him using that move. It's been a while since we've seen Nakamura with that move. But Nakamura wins it with a pinning combination, catching Crews by surprise. Match is really good for what it was here. We'll go over it a little bit here. Nakamura drops Crews on the back of his neck from the middle rope, then pins it for 2. Crews hits Nakamura with a spine buster, pinning Nakamura for a 2 count. Crews hits Nakamura with a step-up enziguri, then tries to pick up Nakamura. Nakamura escapes and goes for an armbar on Crews. Nakamura rolls him into a pinning combination, catching Crews by surprise, pinning him for the win. So a pinfall victory here for Shinsuke Nakamura. But what happened after the match was really fucking good. This is the side of Apollo Crews that I needed to see here. Pay attention to this. Crews attacks Nakamura while he is celebrating his victory. Crews takes Nakamura out of the ring and throws him into the barricade. Crews picks up the steel steps at ringside, but Big E stands in front of him in his bare feet. No shoes on, by the way. Looks comfortable. It makes him stop. He tells Crews to stop, telling him that it's over. He tells Crews to stop, to drop the steps and leave. He drops the steps, and Big E goes on to check on Nakamura. Apollo picks up the steps back. Mind you, he never left. He never walked away. He stood where he was at. Big E goes to check on Nakamura. Crews picks up the steps back up and slams it into Big E's back. Which is officially now, folks, that Apollo Crews has turned heel. Apollo Crews tosses Nakamura over the barricade into the audience area of the Thunderdome. Then he gets into Big E's face, taunting him. He tosses the ring steps into the ring, then rolls Big E into the ring as well. Apollo picks up the steps, goes to hit Big E with them, but the referee blocks him, and Big E rolls out of the ring. The referee yells at Apollo to put them down. This is what Apollo Crews did, which was really fucking crazy. Apollo drops them to the outside of the ring on top of Big E. So the steel steps basically hit the back of Big E's head. Really intriguing stuff there. The medical staff runs to Big E's side, and we go to commercial. This is the side of Apollo Crews that we needed to see. I'm not even gonna lie to you there. All this time with Apollo Crews being in catering, people not taking him serious, and all that other shit. This is the side of Apollo Crews that we needed to see. This is the side of Apollo Crews that now I can get behind. And not only this is something I can get behind, I'm sure Daniel Bryan has something to do with this. Because, you know, Daniel Bryan, from what I've heard, he is the head creative of SmackDown. And I think after his full-time days as a full-time wrestler is over, he's going to be on creative. Daniel Bryan right now is working on, you know, guys that are misused and underutilized and stuff like that. People like Cesaro, people like Nakamura, people like Big E, people like Apollo Crews. All being underutilized a year ago. Now look at them now, so far in 2021. They look like serious-ass players, especially Cesaro. Especially Cesaro. Cesaro is getting this push now How long does that push last? Same thing with Nakamura. Same thing with Big E. Right now with Apollo Crews, how long does that push last? For how long? No one knows. But this was very good. This is the side of Apollo Crews that we need to see. This is the side of Apollo Crews that I can get behind. There's some good shit here. And I hope the people on SmackDown keep this up. Because we need more players like that on SmackDown. Roman Reigns needs more players after WrestleMania. Because after WrestleMania, who else does Reigns have to face? You might as well build them up now on the road to WrestleMania. And once we get past WrestleMania, we already got some players there that can take Roman Reigns down seriously. Think about it there, folks. Especially the babyfaces like Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Big E. They got some serious players on Friday Night SmackDown, let me tell you. So this was some good stuff. Back from commercial, we see Big E being stretched out from the ringside area as medical staff are taking Big E to the back. Seth Rollins' music hits. He watches on as Big E is stretched out of the arena. He stands at the top of the ramp and says that what happened to Big E was a tragedy because he was betrayed by his friend. Rollins says that he understands Big E's pain because he was also turned on by his friends last week when Rollins returned. Rollins tosses to a video recap of when he returned last week, which ended with a standoff between himself and Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. Rollins says that he suffered emotional trauma and he and his lawyers have drafted a statement and sent it to WWE. He says that the reason he did this is because his big moment, quote unquote, was ruined by losers and cowards. He says that those losers are afraid because they don't want to embrace the vision for the future of a better SmackDown. He said that Cesaro is the biggest loser because he made Rollins return about himself. He says that what happened to Cesaro is not on him because Cesaro was asking for it. He says that what happened to Cesaro will happen to anyone else who stands in his way. He says the WWE Universe to embrace the vision, and then he walks to the back. I have no idea where they're going with this, with Cesaro and Rollins. Maybe, and I said this on Twitter, maybe we get Rollins and Cesaro at Fastlane. Maybe Rollins causes Cesaro the match at the Chamber. Maybe Rollins causes Cesaro his shot at the Chamber. And maybe we get this match at WrestleMania. I don't know. But I wouldn't mind a Daniel Bryan. I wouldn't mind a Seth Rollins Cesaro match at WrestleMania. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't really mind that if you ask me. Or what if they book a fatal four-way match for the IC title? Include Rollins and Cesaro into that. Or I think, or probably they're gonna do like a one-on-one match at Fastlane between Big E and Apollo Crews, maybe, because Big E did beat Apollo Crews 3 times already in the last 6 weeks. I don't know, but whatever Apollo Crews did earlier currently clearly has gotten Big E's attention. What if they have a fatal four-way match at WrestleMania between Big E, Rollins, Cesaro, and Apollo Crews? Maybe at WrestleMania. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe at Fastlane we get Big E and Apollo Crews in a fuck finish. Who knows? Who knows? But I don't know where they're going with this. But whatever it is, it could be good going into WrestleMania. Could be good. Maybe we get Cesaro and Rollins at WrestleMania in a one-on-one match. Maybe. But I'm going to say this right now, in my honest opinion, not everybody deserves to be at WrestleMania. Not everybody. Not everybody. Kevin Owens is backstage. He's approached by Edge. Edge says that he understands Owens because Owens keeps fighting and keeps getting back up. Owens says that he can only focus on getting to the Elimination Chamber and beating Roman for the title. And Edge says that he believes in Owens and that it would be good to face him at WrestleMania. To each his own, depending who you talk to. Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce are shown clearing a way for Big E's stretcher to be loaded into an ambulance and we go to commercial. Then we get a tag team match between Tamina Snuka and Natalya versus the Riott Squad. Now, I will not be going over this match because A, I don't care about this match, and 2, I don't care about Tamina Snuka whatsoever. I love Ruby Riott, I do love Liv Morgan, I do love Natalya, but at the same time, I just can't seem to care. Just know Tamina Snuka and Natalya wins here. I know, Tamina Snuka on SmackDown getting TV time? Yeah, I know. On the road to WrestleMania to add. Yeah, sure. Tamina and Natalya celebrate in the ring, and Billie Kay runs in to celebrate with them. Natty and Tamina want nothing to do with her, and Tamina lays her out with a super kick. It is what it is. We got a video of Sasha Banks waving the flag at the Daytona 500. Good for her. That is Bae, by the way. That is my new Bae, Sasha Banks. Edge is backstage on his phone, and he's approached by Baron Corbin. I will not call him King. Just call him Baron Corbin. Corbin says that the meeting feels like the main event of WrestleMania. I don't think so. In my honest opinion, I don't think so there. He says that things have changed and SmackDown is Corbin's kingdom now. Corbin, we all know you won the King of the Ring 2 years ago. We know. Sure. Can you lay off the King segment already? We all know you're a King of the Ring winner. We all know. Can you just, un favor, just cut it, please? Thank you. Corbin shows off and brags about his watch and suit. He says he had a suit and a $39,000 watch. Yeah. Show off. But Edge just mocks him and Corbin walks off. The ring crew is setting up the door for the ding dong hello, which is up next. Right after the commercial break. Back from the commercial break, Bayley very enthusiastically comes to the door before introducing Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. This was a funny segment. This was honestly, in my opinion, many people have other opinions here, but in my opinion, this was the best segment of the show. Outside of Roman Reigns and Edge in the opening segment, this was good too. This was very good. Funny, and good at the same time. Bayley thanks them for being on the show. Nia Jax said that she is happy that Bayley isn't mad at them, and Bayley says that she was glad that they lost the titles because it allowed her to get rid of Sasha Banks. We all know why. It was because of the storyline, so there you go. Nia Jax says it was great that Bayley got rid of Sasha because of how annoying Sasha Banks is. Shayna said that Bianca Belair is also annoying. Nia said that Sasha is even more annoying. So who's more annoying? As Nia goes on, Reginald comes down. Actually, there was a fucking video clip of... Actually, it was part of this segment there also. That Nia Jax called herself sexy. Now, in my opinion... Now, again, this is just my opinion here. How do I say this without being sounding bad? Okay, for a thick woman like Nia Jax, she isn't bad looking. That's just my opinion. For a thick, beautiful woman like Nia Jax, she isn't that bad looking. She really isn't. As Nia goes on, Reginald comes down and says that he can't listen to them. This sparks Sasha Banks. Nia asks if that's a challenge. And Reginald says that if Sasha and Bianca Belair were to team together, they would take the title from Nia Jax and Tamina. It's funny how you say that, Reginald. Very funny. Sasha comes down and gets in the ring. And the funny part about this... whole segment was that when Reginald came out And Sasha and Bianca, Bayley's in the back screaming, use the door, use the door, use the door. Yo, I love Bayley, man. I love Bayley. Like, I naturally fucking love Bayley with a passion. I really do. My God. Sasha comes down and gets in the ring. She said that Reginald does not speak for her, and she is the boss. She could be my boss any day of the week. Just saying. Sorry, Makazi. Just had to say that there, Makazi. I'm sorry. She said that Bianca Belair would choose to face Sasha because the women's division and SmackDown revolves around her. I mean, she is the champion, so it kind of does make sense there. Bianca Belair comes out and says that since she won the Rumble, and by the way, Bianca did not use the door. Reginald did not use the door. Sasha did not use the door. And Bianca did not use the door. How disrespectful. Come on. Shit. So Belair comes out and says that since she won the Rumble, she is a star of the division. You're a star. A huge star, sure. Yes. That I agree. She gets in Sasha's face and Reginald tries to separate them. He says that they are on the same team and he wants the team with Sasha and Bianca to take on Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Bayley. Which we all knew from there this was going to be a 6-person tag. We all knew this from there. We all knew this from there. Now, this match was nothing but a complete waste of time. Another part I did not like about the show was the simple fact that why is Reginald a guy in a women's match? You could have at least did a 2-on-3 handicap match. That's the least you could have done there. A 2-on-3 handicap match. Or at least add another woman that's not being used and put her in the match to team up with Sasha and Bianca. I would have just did a 2-on-3 handicap match there. I would have just simply done that. I don't care if you're a champion in this company. Champions shouldn't lose on TV. That's just me. Champions should not lose on TV. The fact that Reginald pinned Nia Jax. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. But why are champions losing on live TV? It's just stupid. Now, mind you, Reginald pinned Nia Jax, but then Sasha and Bianca, who's on the same team as Reginald, now they're getting a women's tag team match. If that's the case, you could have had Bianca pin Nia. Or have Reginald pin Bayley. Something like that. Algo así, my guy. Something like that, bro. Something like that. But why would you have Reginald pin Nia Jax? She's a champion. Champions shouldn't be losing on live TV. Another thing I didn't like about this show, outside of the fucking the tag team match that we got earlier with Tamina and Natalya versus the Riott Squad, that match is another waste of time. This too. This also was another waste of everybody's time. Stay hydrated, folks. Stay hydrated. So we got Reginald, Sasha, and Bianca beating Bayley, Shayna, and Nia. And now because Reginald got the win over Nia, which grants Sasha and Bianca a women's tag team title match. Now, I can see a few things happening here. A few things happen here that I can see. We're getting Nia and Shayna versus Sasha and Bianca on Sunday night for the women's tag team titles. What if Bianca and Sasha win the titles? We get Bianca and Sasha versus Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, maybe at Fastlane, or maybe they do another takeover before WrestleMania, which I highly doubt. They'll probably have the match at Fastlane, What if we get Bianca and Sasha versus Raquel and Dakota, with Raquel and Dakota winning the titles, and Sasha turns heel on Bianca Belair, which is something that JD mentioned on Twitter today, which I'll give him credit on, which I do like that idea. I was thinking the same way also, as I told him on Twitter. They can use the women's tag team titles to further Bianca and Sasha's storyline going into WrestleMania. They can do that. Or, another thing here, which also I thought about also, and again, me and JD got the same idea here. What if Sasha turns heel on Bianca on Sunday at the pay-per-view, which makes Bianca choose Sasha for WrestleMania? I can see both ways happen here, possible. Possibly. And on top of that, you got to think about the fact that Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai won the Women's Dusty Cup. So they're owed a women's tag team title shot. Who would you rather use to defend those titles? Nia and Shayna or Bianca and Sasha? Clearly with the bigger match here, I would book Bianca and Sasha versus Raquel and Dakota. When will that match take place? I have no idea. Probably at Fastlane or another takeover before WrestleMania. Who knows? But that's another thing to think about here, honestly. Another thing to think about, which is a possibility. Moving on with the show, Cesaro is interviewed backstage about Seth Rollins' comments earlier tonight. Cesaro says that he didn't go out there to patronize Seth, but he was out there because he was hopeful that Seth had changed. Cesaro says that he won't forget about what happened, but for now, he needs to focus on winning the match tonight and the Chamber, and then defeating Roman. Edge approaches Cesaro backstage, and Cesaro tells him that he will see him in the main event at WrestleMania. Who knows? Who knows? We got Rey Mysterio and Dominik will tag together in a match against the Alpha Academy, which is Chad Gable and Otis. Next on SmackDown. I didn't see this match. I didn't really see this match, nor did I care. I don't really care at all. They really stopped with the Rey Mysterio family situation with the storyline. Wasn't it Buddy Murphy and Aaliyah supposed to get married and stuff like that soon? Wasn't it like in a relationship? Some stuff was going on there, and then they was gonna eventually do a wedding, because you know all relationship storylines in WWE lead to a wedding. They lead to a wedding. Apparently, from what I heard, I believe last week or this week, they stopped the storyline with Buddy Murphy and Aaliyah. Maybe they're not using Buddy Murphy anymore. Who knows? King sabe. Who knows? They're not using fucking 60% of that roster. So add Buddy Murphy to that list, please. Rey and Dominik versus Otis and Chad Gable. I did not watch this match, nor did I care. But according to my notes here on Ringside News, I have Rey Mysterio and Dominik winning by disqualification. Let's swear I take it here. Rey hits a springboard across the body on Otis, but Otis catches him and slams him down. Otis hits a standing splash on Rey. Chad Gable gets in the ring and takes out Dominik. They both double team Rey Mysterio, and the bell rings because Chad Gable and Otis did not adhere to the referee's 5 count. So there you go. Automatic DQ win for Rey and Dominik. I don't know what they're doing with Dominik. I said this on Twitter also. What are they doing with Dominik? What are they doing with Dominik? If I was fucking running this company, as I wish I would one day, I would have Dominik go to NXT. He's good in the ring, sure. Don't get me wrong. He's good in the ring, but I want him to get better. And how to get better in the ring, go to NXT. I think Dominik would be in very good hands with Triple H down in NXT. I think he would. In my honest opinion, I think he would. But Dominik and Rey win by disqualification. Blah, blah, blah. There you go. Also, did Otis turn heel? It looks like Otis and Chad Gable turn heel. I believe so. Daniel Bryan is backstage warming up for his match. Edge approaches him and says that Bryan was an inspiration for his return. Bryan asks Edge to face him at WrestleMania if he beats Roman at the Chamber. Edge says that it sounds like a dream match. It certainly does, if you ask me. And Bryan says that it sounds long overdue. Edge responds with, I think you're right, and walks off. Could it happen? Could Edge and Daniel Bryan face off at WrestleMania? Who knows? Is it a dream match? Yes, it is. 100% it is. Sure, it is. It's a dream match. Back for commercial break, Dominik is helping his father Rey back to his feet as they walk to the back. Backstage, KO approaches Daniel Bryan and Cesaro backstage. He asks if they want to talk about strategy. Cesaro and Bryan talk about how they can trust KO because he has never turned on anyone except for the New Day and Sami and another big name. Who that big name is, you guys tell me. Owens first apologizes, saying that he thought they were coming for him, so he struck first. Owens says that they don't have to worry about the stunner tonight because they are on the same team and he wants to win the match. So, there you go. But on Sunday, they might have to worry about a few stunners coming their way. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three, maybe four. Who knows? Reginald. Now, one thing about Reginald that I gotta ask, and I know this is a trend now all of a sudden, or has this always been a thing? If you're wearing dress shoes, why are you not wearing any socks? Can I seriously just, ask that question? If you're wearing dress shoes, seriously, and this is what I'm asking here. If you're wearing dress shoes, why are you not wearing socks? I don't know. I don't know. Reginald, who Kevin hates, Reginald speaks and presents a glass of wine to Carmella. She asks what took him so long, and he says that it took him a while to get the wine. He needed the right temperature of the wine. Just hand it over. Seriously, please. She said that she saw the match and she isn't mad. She drinks the wine that he brought her and she spits it out, telling him to get her a better drink. Remember, folks, pinkies out. I make myself laugh sometimes. I have no idea. So we go to the main event here. Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, I will not call him King, and Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and Kevin Owens in a 6-man tag in the main event of the show. Zayn and Bryan tag in. Bryan tags Zayn down, takes Zayn down with a clothesline and a running knee in the corner. Bryan hits a Hurricane Rana on Zayn from the top rope. Uso breaks up the pin. Owens takes out Jey Uso with a super kick and a cannonball senton from the apron. On the outside, Bryan hits Zayn with yes kicks, but Zayn dodges and hits the Blue Thunder Bomb. Cesaro breaks up the pin, and Corbin takes out Cesaro to the outside. Back into the ring, Bryan hits a super kick on Zayn from the top rope and transitions into the yes lock on Sami Zayn, and Zayn taps out. The babyfaces win here. Daniel Bryan celebrates in the ring, and Corbin attacks him from behind, hitting with the end of the day. Now, the one thing I didn't like about this was that Corbin was already standing on the ring ropes with Daniel Bryan doing the yes shit. He was just waiting there for his cue. Didn't get that at all. So, Corbin hits Bryan with the end of days. Owens hits Corbin with a stunner. Zayn hits Owens with an exploder suplex. Cesaro hits Zayn with a very European uppercut, which is very fucking good and devastating. Holy shit. Jey Uso hits Cesaro with a super kick. Edge suddenly runs in from the commentary booth, hits Jey Uso with a spear. Then out of nowhere, Roman Reigns runs in and hits Edge with a spear in the ring. Paul Heyman enters the ring and hands Roman Reigns his title. And Roman imposes over Edge as the show goes off the air with Roman Reigns holding up the Universal Championship. Does Edge pick Drew McIntyre? Or does Edge pick Roman Reigns for WrestleMania? Which will bleed in to my Elimination Chamber preview and predictions now. Which will add on to my preview and predictions portion of the show. Who knows? Does Edge pick Roman? We all know Roman wants Edge. We know that for sure. We know Edge wants Roman. We know that for a fact. Does Edge pick Roman? Does Edge pick Drew McIntyre for WrestleMania? Who knows? We're going to go over the preview and predictions portion here of the show for Sunday night. We're going to go over according to my notes here now, is the U.S. title being added. Bobby Lashley versus Riddle versus Keith Lee, which is likely to be changed. I don't know what happened to Keith Lee. I have no idea what happened to Keith Lee, but hope Keith Lee's fine with whatever's happening to him. Hopefully they add that match to Sunday, making that a triple threat. I think that match will be very, very good going into Sunday. We'll go over the men's Elimination Chamber match first. Drew McIntyre defends the coveted WWE Championship against Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Kofi Kingston, and Sheamus inside the dreadful, dangerous Elimination Chamber. We saw Raw on the night that a gauntlet match happened, and the winner of that gauntlet match will enter the chamber last. Sheamus won that, and Drew McIntyre got pinned. Drew McIntyre got pinned by Sheamus, and Sheamus will enter the Elimination Chamber match last. My final two men will be Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Now, I have final two guys here. Either Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, or Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. Now, people will wonder and will ask me, Chris, why are you saying Orton and McIntyre should be last in the chamber? There's a reason why I say Randy Orton. That could be last, with Drew McIntyre as the final two guys. Outside of Drew McIntyre retaining the WWE Championship on Sunday, which I think will happen. I think Drew will come into the chamber as champion and walk out as champion. I think Drew McIntyre will win this match on Sunday. I think so. But you got to keep this in the back of your mind here. What if Randy Orton wins the WWE Championship at the chamber? What if? What if? Now, I have to pull up the tweet from WrestleVotes that they tweeted earlier today. And I'll pull that tweet up in just a second here. What if Randy Orton wins the WWE Championship at the chamber? What if he wins? Now, according to WrestleVotes, they tweeted at 11:39 a.m. this morning. Conversation with a source recently stated the latest WrestleMania creative meeting had Edge versus Reigns, Belair versus Banks, Orton versus Wyatt, Bad Bunny tag on the books with nearly everything else open, including the WWE title matchup. Same source stressed nothing is set in stone, however. So we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. They said that everything is open outside of the matches that I mentioned. Everything is open, including the WWE Championship. Does Randy Orton win the WWE Championship at the Chamber on Sunday? Does he win the title going into Sunday? Could we possibly get Randy Orton versus The Fiend at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship? This time with Orton defending the title against Wyatt. Remember the first time when Wyatt and Orton faced back in 2017? Where Wyatt defended the title against Orton and Orton won the title? What if Wyatt gets his win back at WrestleMania? What if? We don't know. Which is what I said. Put this in the back of your mind. What if Orton wins the title and he faces either Bray Wyatt or he faces Edge at WrestleMania and Edge beats Orton for the championship at WrestleMania? What if? We don't know. Orton could win the title at the Chamber and loses to either Edge or Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Who knows? Who knows? But from what I'm predicting here, Drew McIntyre will retain the championship, and Edge is going to notice that, okay, maybe Drew McIntyre is not what I called him a couple of weeks ago. Maybe he's not, that pussy that Edge metaphorically said without really saying it. And Edge sees that McIntyre's tough. I want that in my opponent for WrestleMania. And we get Edge and McIntyre at WrestleMania. What if? There's a whole lot of what ifs here. So that's my prediction. I think Drew McIntyre will walk out of the Chamber and retain the WWE Championship. Number 1 contenders match for the Universal title. Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan. My final 2 guys here is Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. Who wins this? Daniel Bryan. Now, this is something that I thought about myself, and I hope you guys like this, and I hope you guys think about this. Daniel Bryan wins the SmackDown number 1 contender Elimination Chamber. We get Reigns and Bryan. We got a fuck finish here. We get Reigns and Bryan at WrestleMania. Who does Reigns face at Fastlane? Probably Shinsuke Nakamura at Fastlane. Now, this is the interesting thing that I'm thinking about. Everybody now says that whatever Roman Reigns touches turns to gold, right? Everything that Roman Reigns touches turns to gold, right? What if Roman Reigns retires the Universal Championship and brings back the World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold plate, the big gold championship that was retired back in 2014? What if they bring that championship back and everything is gold and Reigns is the World Heavyweight Champion on Friday Night SmackDown? And we get Reigns and Bryan at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that would be splendid. Splendid. I would love that. I can see that happen. I can possibly see that happen. Possibly. I can possibly see that happen. So I think Daniel Bryan will win the SmackDown number 1 contender Elimination Chamber. We get Reigns and Bryan at WrestleMania, with Reigns facing possibly Nakamura or Cesaro at Fastlane. Possibly at Fastlane. Women's Tag Team title match. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Now, I did mention it earlier on the review. They can go with 1 or 2 ways here. Option A, they can go with Nia and Sasha retaining. Sasha turns heel on Bianca, forcing Bianca to choose Sasha for WrestleMania. Or they can have Sasha and Bianca win the title, have Sasha and Bianca drop the titles to Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, and Sasha turns heel on Bianca Belair, forcing Bianca Belair to choose Sasha Banks and officially set their match for WrestleMania. Who knows? Either one of those 2 things can happen. But If I was to predict this match, I'm predicting Sasha and Bianca to win. I think Sasha and Bianca wins here. They will drop the titles to Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, and the ball is moving for them match at WrestleMania. I think that would happen. And then a U.S. title match, depending on what happens. Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle versus Keith Lee. If it's a triple threat, I say Lashley retains. If it's a one-on-one match, Lashley retains. And then you can book Lashley and Lee for WrestleMania. I think you can certainly do that. With Big E. No, I said Big E. With Keith Lee and Bobby Lashley for WrestleMania for the U.S. title. I think so. But and before I go here, before I get out of here for you guys, I want to talk about what WrestleVote said earlier. About the tweet that I read earlier. About the plan and the creative meeting had Edge and Reigns, Bianca and Sasha, Orton and Wyatt, the Bad Bunny tag team match, but nearly everything else is open, including the WWE Championship. Now, I said this to TM that I'll be talking about this, and I will right now. The fact that everything is open right now, the fact that the matches that I read are possibly set in stone, but everything else is open, including the WWE title match. Why is the WWE title match opened up for WrestleMania? Do they want Drew McIntyre to walk in as champion, or they don't want Drew McIntyre to walk in as champion? How would that feel for Drew McIntyre to not walk in the WrestleMania as champion when Drew McIntyre legitimately carried his company in 2020 after WrestleMania? Drew McIntyre legitimately and literally carried this company during the pandemic era. Drew McIntyre literally carried this company in 2020. And you're going to sit there and not have Drew McIntyre possibly not walk in the WrestleMania as champion? Whose fault is that? Ask yourself that question. Whose fault is that? And I said this on the review also today, earlier in the review. If Edge ends up picking Drew McIntyre, if Edge ends up picking Roman Reigns for WrestleMania, who does Drew McIntyre face? And you look at that Raw roster, there's nobody on that Raw roster that can face McIntyre. Nobody, legitimately. Oh, but people are going to say, oh, John Cena. Cena can't even cross the fucking border. Cena right now, as we speak, is in Canada. Cena, as we speak right now, in this very second, is in Canada filming Peacekeeper for HBO. And the filming for that series is not going to end until July. So you can't do Cena. Brock, the same thing. Brock is in Canada. He would have to cross the border and quarantine for 2 weeks because of COVID regulations. So literally, who else on Monday Night Raw can face Drew McIntyre? AJ Styles? You already fucked that match up back at fucking TLC. Sheamus? You could have done Drew and Sheamus on Sunday. You could have done that, but no. You want to book Drew McIntyre to defend the title in the fucking chamber. You could have given me Drew McIntyre and Sheamus one-on-one at the chamber. You could have just easily done that. But no, I have a feeling after the chamber, they're going to book Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus at Fastlane. And then, from there, and if Roman Reigns gets Edge for WrestleMania, who the fuck is Drew McIntyre facing? You might as well leave McIntyre off the fucking card. At that point, you might as well leave Drew McIntyre off the fucking card. You might as well. Because how much of a fuck you to leave Drew McIntyre out of WrestleMania, let alone not having plans for him for WrestleMania. I said this. If Edge was going to win the Rumble, he should have came on the Raw the following night to make his decision of who he wants to face at WrestleMania. You can't just prolong this. Whose fault is that now? That's Vince and Bruce Pritchard. That's all Vince and Bruce. Because I know for a fact, if I was booking this fucking company and I was the head creative of this whole goddamn fucking company, I would have had Edge make a decision on the Raw after the Rumble. Same thing with Bianca. Make a decision on the SmackDown after the fucking Rumble. By then, you already have 2 WrestleMania matches set in stone. Set in stone. At that point, a fucking permanent marker. Not just pen, folks. Permanent marker. On a Sharpie, permanent marker. Edge and McIntyre and Bianca and Sasha. That's your 2 matches so far for WrestleMania. The rest of the card, it's up to you. It's up to you at that point. But for the simple fact that the WWE Championship match is open for WrestleMania, how much of a fuck you is that to Drew McIntyre? That's a slap in the face. If I'm Drew McIntyre and I see that, that's a big slap in the fucking face. Seriously. A big slap in the face. Because Drew McIntyre deserves more. That's it for your SmackDown review, folks. That's it for the SmackDown review. And that's it for the Chamber preview and predictions as we go over the show for Sunday. Whew. I've been on the show here for an hour, 1 minute, and 35 seconds and counting. I am tired. I'm going to go play Call of Duty with my brother, watch some Netflix, and probably knock the fuck out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you guys enjoyed the review, hit that thumbs up. If you guys are happy the fact that I'm back better than ever, also hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of SmackDown tonight. And leave a comment also, what are your predictions for the Chamber pay-per-view on this Sunday? Leave a comment down below your prediction for the Chamber this Sunday as well. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. And please turn on bell for notifications. Also, guys, my Twitter and my Instagram is down below in the description. Please follow me on social media, and I'll follow you guys back as well there. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Call of Duty as I give you guys my Mac 10 setup, my Mac 10 gameplay. You guys are gonna love that. And also, I will see you guys on Sunday for the Elimination Chamber review and results video. So then, guys, I'm Chris. God bless you guys. Talk to you guys later.